Hi, can you hear me? Okay, great. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Mila Samdub. I'm a resident fellow at the Information Society Project at Yale Law School. So that you can make sense of where this work's coming from, I'm currently sort of at this interdisciplinary center that works on tech law and society, but in the past I've worked on architectural theory and in the arts. My lens is largely that of media studies and political theory. Before I start, I wanted to also thank the student organizers, Arshia, Supnil, and Soham, as well as Joyajit Pal, for putting together such a great program so far. And I wanted to express my solidarity with striking graduate student workers here at UNISH. Oh, how do I proceed the slides? Okay, perfect. A frenzy of construction has been taking place in India since 2014. The state is building highways, tunnels, large-scale convention centers, metro lines, and high-speed railways. Representations of these infrastructures in aerial shots and gleaming architectural renders reproduce Indian cities in the image of Dubai, Singapore, and London. This is the Pragati Maidan redevelopment, a major project of the Modi government. Represented in glossy media images, these hegemonic images sort of attest to a transforming India, full of smart cities and, oops, hold up. There was a video here, but it's not necessary. Full of smart cities, a brand new world-class destination for capital, orchestrated by the Prime Minister. At the same time as the state puts out these hegemonic images, YouTubers are creating their own images of these projects. So in place of the glossy renders populated by the upwardly mobile citizens of the future that we see in the state's images, YouTubers show rubble-strewn construction sites with armies of migrant laborers. They bring transparency to construction sites that are running late and over budget, yet they turn this sort of transparency and disappointing everyday reality into an overwhelmingly pro-BJP and nationalistic discourse. How do they do this? So a quick historical background. Infrastructure YouTube videos should be seen as part of a long lineage of nationalist representations of large-scale construction that can be traced to Sunil Jana's images of dams, factories, and electric plants under construction in the 50s. Art historian Atriya Gupta argues that the developmental ocularity of Nehruvian infrastructure depicted these projects with straight lines, highlighting their orderliness and attempting to visually approximate the intended effect of technological modernization. Okay, so it looks like I'm sure, is this working? Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm sorry, this is, yeah. Um, Great. Okay, thank you. Oops. Well, um, that's good. I wanted to be muted for this one at least. So while I think infrastructure YouTubers are doing something similar to Jana, I want to center the fact that they are not usually elite citizens with access to great technology. Their videos are often long, shaky, sort of what Hito style called poor images. But rather than functioning as sites of critique or sort of being directly in line with the state's hegemonic vision, these videos strive to develop a sort of a perception that can bring their everyday experiences closer to the future they've been promised. Real life is filmed, edited, narrated, and shared on YouTube to make sense of their present in relation to a promised future. I have to get out of this, right? Yeah, thank you. Okay, moving on. So over here you can see like a slightly more oppositional one where this video is finding out if Delhi has become London, but that sort of blame for the disappointing reality is on the Aam Aadmi Party government, which is the opposition government that's in control of Delhi, that rules Delhi. But how exactly does this work? So I'm gonna, oh, what? I don't need that video right now. So anthropologist Hannah Knox sort of theorizes infrastructural ruptures as the way in which something as concrete and mundane as a road comes to index something as abstract and social as nationalist politics. So these relations, so think of the sensation of driving on a fast, smooth new highway and thinking, well, like this is a great achievement of the state, or the frustration that you experience when a train is delayed. These are the moments when infrastructure opens out onto the political. And an attention to YouTube calls for a theorization of infrastructural rupture, not only as direct embodied experience, but also as produced by media. It is the affordances of YouTube as a social media that sort of produce some of these ruptures as well. I'll focus on how one YouTuber, Sandy Tech, treats one such rupture, which is the rupture between sort of performance and underperformance, between promise and reality. I'm sorry for the advertisement. Okay, so
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं हूं सैंडी एक्चुअल में आपका स्वागत है। दोस्तों चलिए देखते हैं प्रगति मैदान। दोस्तों ये देखिए बिजनेस सेंटर है, जो यहाँ जो काम चल रहा है दोस्तों, इस काम को 31 तारीख की रात तक कंप्लीट करना है इन लोगों ने। जो यहाँ पे टाइल्स वगैरह लगनी है और पत्थर लगना है, वो सारा दोस्तों 31 तारीख को खत्म हो जाएगा। यहाँ पे देखिए आपको कितनी सारी लेबर नजर आ रही है यहाँ पे। तो ये काम दोस्तों बहुत फास्ट मोड में चल रहा है इस जगह पे, और इस एरिया का काम 31 तारीख को कंप्लीट होना है किसी भी हाल में, क्योंकि यहाँ पे फंक्शन होगा जो। और
okay, so he's saying that this project has to be completed by the 31st. He sort of repeatedly emphasizes that fact while showing us this sort of rubble-strewn kind of construction site. The video is made and posted on the 29th. As some of the comments point out, it seems clear that this is just not a possible timeline or possible target, and the building doesn't get completed on time. Another video of
Mila, you're 7 minutes in, 3 minutes.
Thank you. Another video of the Pragati Maidan project by Sandy Tech.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं हूं सैंडी एक्चुअल में आपका स्वागत है। दोस्तों चलिए देखते हैं प्रगति मैदान। दोस्तों एक्सक्लूसिव वीडियो दिखा रहा हूं, पूरी वीडियो देखना, आखिरी तक देखना, और व्यूज चाहिए दोस्तों इस वीडियो पे। लेकिन मैं आपको बताऊं, बैक टू बैक मैं 4 वीडियो डालूंगा आने वाले समय में, और आपको बता दूं बैक टू बैक आपको डेली वीडियो दिखाऊंगा इसके ऊपर, और कल मैं हो सकता है इसके 3 वीडियो इस पे लॉन्च करूंगा। दोस्तों मैं आपसे ये रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ, मुझे इस कम से कम 1 लाख व्यूज चाहिए प्लीज। इसमें मुझे 1 लाख व्यूज चाहिए, और मेरी सारी वीडियो देखा करिए दोस्तों। मैं आपको ये बोल रहा हूँ, कम से कम 2 मिनट के लिए 1-2 मिनट के ऑन करके मोबाइल छोड़ दीजिए, कम से कम व्यूज बढ़े दोस्तों, तभी मेरे लिए पॉसिबल हो पाएगा। अदरवाइज मेरा बता रहा हूँ मोटिवेशन लेवल डाउन होते जा रहा है। कम से कम ये तो सोचिए कि मैं
Okay, so he's over here saying that, and let's also look at the title of the post. It says complete ho gaya hai, jo kehte the possible nahi hai, which is to say like it's been completed what people said was impossible. And he begins the video with an extended monologue beseeching the audience for more views. He says he needs 100,000 views, a lakh. And he says please, and he says you can even leave the video on and walk away from your phones just so that he can get the views. And he's losing his motivation if he doesn't get the views. And so both videos are based on sort of unattainable performance targets, promises to make a project complete by a certain date, Modi's promises to turn India into a $5 trillion economy by 2024, and the YouTuber's own targets for video views. These promises are faced with a reality that constantly falls short: the lateness of the project, the failure to achieve the GDP, the YouTuber's inability to garner more views. That video had about 8,000 views. And so then the bright future for both the nation and the citizen is produced through the invocation of Modi hai to mumkin hai, which is if Modi's there, it's possible. And that transforms impossibility into possibility. Infrastructure YouTube videos are a case study of how, sorry, this was a video, but I won't play it. How people manage and navigate the dissonances of living in India under the BJP and on social media. A reality where digitalization has brought access to the digital for many, but without access to many of the broader developmental benefits that the government has promised. Both the BJP government and social media platforms are machines that work in the interests of a few, while for most people they generate what Arjuna Padarai has recently called they function as a machine to generate a string of broken promises. The Achhe Din, which, the good days that Modi's promised have not materialized. Thank you. Infrastructure, let me finish by saying that infrastructure YouTubers, like all propagandists, both willing and unwilling of the Modi government, shape their representations to smooth over contradictions, remaking the gap between reality and promise, not as a site of dissent, but as nationalist anticipation of a bright future. And I want to end by just asking, rather than glossing over and eliding the contradictions between promise and reality, what would it take for representations to expose them and support a dissenting politics? Because these are videos that are exposing continued failure. Thank you all. That's the end of my,